What excellent timing for our final game of the day. So we have Feuerbart against Johannes. Not for King of Swift, maybe for King of Swift if Radek loses and old Firebeard wins, but we have Knights Watch Knights of the Hollow Hill against Tyrell, Banner of the Stag. Johannes spanked Mr. Firebeard on Friday, so we'll do a spanking stream now. Bit of a kinky stream, I think. Let's see what occurs. Right, Rebecca has just arrived home, and so there may be some noise going on. Let's look at the deck then. So Tyrell, Banner of the Stag. Sometimes it can be challenge control. Most of the time it is Knights, and I think we can see it probably summer deck with Knights because we have Survived by Voice and Duplicated, Great Hall, Old Town, and Steve the Septon. While no setup on Knights of the Hollow Hill side. So I wonder if the Knights Watch is playing the recruitment tech, maybe New Wall. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. So we have Firebeard still mulling over his plot. Time is counting down. We have a minute eaten away, and we have the Prince Who Came Too Late, which is a very interesting opener. I like it. I like the fact that he's going to have cards in hand, a reserve of 7, 4 gold to play out. Maybe he has some sort of economy, some chud to play that one can die to claim or one will survive. You might need it if you're worried about March in any decks, but that's unlikely from Tyrell, Banner of the Stag. Johannes, knowing that he got the tempo advantage, can afford to play the Arbor without any concern at all. We have Golden Grove, which can be used for double Great Hall, should he so need. So we can still get a Renly or a Randall. Garland, he's a big knight, 6th cost. I was saying Rebecca just returned home. Maybe that noise wasn't Rebecca returning home, it was the postman or something. Let me go and see. Nope, it was Rebecca returning home, but she's building the buggy for Elsie. Because Elsie has fallen asleep in the car. So a bit of silence there for at least another half an hour. The Acolyte of the Flame. So it seems like the Stag Banner has brought in a small Valor character. It will be interesting to see what the rest of the deck is and what the other Stag characters are. So we are getting a double Great Hall. Getting a bit of a banging noise from Rebecca. Hello, Rebecca. Baby is asleep, so the baby's coming into the buggy, so I won't be shouting too excitedly. Okay, Autumn Merryweather. So Firebeard, Underground Vault for 2 gold. Maintaining 4, that's nice. In at the Crossroad, Milk of the Poppy on Steve the Septon. So I guess not so worried about the Prince. So could it be Prince Yoren or something? Something entertaining like that. The 6th cost Yoren, if there's anything standing, Prince Yoren would just come and yoink it. Intrigue, Horn of Winter goes away. That is a new card. So attach character gains Assault. After you win a challenge, sacrifice the Horn of Winter to choose a location that was targeted by assault this challenge. Until the end of the round, treat that location if this printed textbook were blank, except for traits. If it is a stronghold or the wall, you may discard it from play. Nice, 2 cost, pretty situational. You need to have assault all ready to use it. There's a little bit of a combo. It's a lot of text, but I guess it does something, says Johannes. Yeah, it only works, you know, if you have an assault character. It's nice if there's a stronghold. Of course, though, strongholds don't see a great deal of play. They see some play. So Johannes is choosing not to kneel his whole board out, which suggests that he's going to give Acolyte of the Flame to Firebeard. I mean, it makes sense because Late Summer Feast would only be feeding Feuerbart cards. So we have Seen in Flame, so we must have some lore characters and Seen in Flame for extra card, discard. And double Old Town. So we've now Autumn, the small council character, to take control. And then Old Town. Nice. I like it. We have Jon Snow. So this may not be as recruity as I thought it might. Still, there's probably no fear of Marched. Can't imagine Tyrell Stag would play Marched. It might play Marched, but I can't imagine it would play Marched. Round 2. It just occurs to me that maybe I should look at the actual chat just in case there's anything going on in the chat. Not expecting anything going on in the chat, but someone did say something in the last stream, sort of gave me a hi, and unfortunately I failed to respond, which was a bit sad. A new viewer from the Philippines. So hello if you're still around. So exchange of information from Johannes. Allah does come into play. Again, here to serve. So Feuerbart chose to go first and resolved he's here to serve. That seems like a good counter to any possible Valar Morghulis. Howdy, Todd. How's life down in Texas? Hey, wait, it must be super early for you. It must be like, I don't know, 5 AM or something? Maybe 6 AM? It's hot. Well, I was a little bit worried because, you know, I know you're no longer a young gentleman. I worried that maybe you woke yourself up if you've wet the bed or something like that, Todd. But I'm glad to know that's not the case. It's just hot. So right, Ala Tyrell's come into play. She's an interrupt, so yeah, she revealed by exchange of information. She interrupt comes into play, and then Feuerbart has to choose from the remaining 9 cards. A nice interaction if you're a Tyrell player, a stupid interaction if you hate Tyrell. 7 AM, you woke up early, and yes, and I was streaming some cards. A good way to start the day, well thank you. I would be playing my own deck in this event, but I had to take a little bit of time out to do some chores, which meant I couldn't quite play in round 3. But it was fun. I had a nice Greyjoy winter deck, which wasn't actually nice. Recorded those games rather than streamed them, so I may just upload them if my opponents agree. So we're moving into the marshalling phase. So let's see what Night's Watch can do here. So yeah, it doesn't seem to be any sort of recruitment deck at all. It seemed to be a good attacky Night's Watch deck with using the Hollow Hill agenda to basically have lots of gold, and using the Prince Who Came Too Late with the agenda to offset the 1 gold on the plot, and then following that up by Here to Serve, Maester Aemon to protect from Valar Morghulis and or Marched, although I guess it wouldn't protect from March because March would win initiative, so let's just go with Valar Morghulis. Yay! So Johannes just doubling down on the location, duplicating them, makes it safe from political disaster, which is a real threat, I suppose, from Night's Watch Hollow Hill, especially when you see things like the Inn at the Crossroads, because the Night's Watch player can play that, give away the location, then play PD next round, so the opponent doesn't have the benefit. Greyjoy Winter doesn't seem like a very friendly tournament deck. Well, mate, have you seen the decks in this tournament? There's a Night's Watch House with a Red Door, there's Night's Watch Knights of the Hollow Hill, there's Night's Watch Summer, there's Lanny Kraken, there's Martell Knights of the Hollow Hill. It doesn't seem like a very friendly tournament at all. It seems like everyone coming here to, to release some stress and tension here and just take it out on someone else. So we have Bacon Brother cancelling Maester Crescent, who wanted to remove a milk from Steve the Septon. I think it is worth it. I mean, you're basically paying 1 gold to kneel Maester Crescent. I mean, it's not amazing, but at least it's a kneel. False advertising, I agree. Friendly Open, I don't think so. You're going to have to change the name. Unfriendly Open. Or maybe give each episode a different name. Friendly Open, Season 7, Episode 1, The Unfriendly Open. Oh man, if those regional decks are going to be those nasty decks, it's going to be an interesting regional. Fortunately, I find that in real life tournaments in England, people don't often go for the really nasty stuff. You get 1 or 2 players that play the really nasty stuff, but then most players will play mid-range deck, good stuff deck, because they like to be able to sit and look the opponent in the eye without feeling like a complete dick and knowing you've ruined their life, day, year, whatever. I'm quite happy to do that, but I just don't enjoy those kind of decks. Right, we have a military challenge coming in from Jon Snow. So we have a put to the torch on Old Town. There are plenty of good opportunities to pick the Arbour, the Great Hall, but selected Old Town for the draw and the power game, which can be a solid strategy if you're looking to get rid of Johannes' hand, so you've got all econ and nothing else. But at some point that milk will come off the Scheming Septon and the draw will flow again. Sadly, that's not the case in the US. Yeah, I understand, Todd, that there are a lot of US players that just like to play competitive decks in terms of they don't really care that much about the opponent's experience. They just play a deck that they know is nasty and is going to win. Whereas I'm a bit of a knobhead, but I do care about my opponent's experience, which is why I'm so friendly and banterous when I play them. That said, when I came to Worlds and I played against American players, they were fine. They weren't especially banterous, quite quiet and concentraty in the face of my incessant onslaught in chat. But my incessant onslaught in chat worked well for me in Melee. Turns out Americans are crap at Melee, because the final table was me, a Brit who doesn't know how to play Melee, Bamford, another Brit who does know how to play Melee, Tony, a Scot, who's basically another Brit who does know how to play Melee, and David Techmeyer, who's German and knows how to play Melee. So for me to get to the final table is not a great endorsement of American Melee players. Anyhow, challenges, So we have Johannes. He did a military. Feuerbart defended successfully with Jon Snow. Intrigue though, Johannes won. Levers, discarded. It's all about the power game now. Johannes doesn't need to win the military. He's going to accrue power with his summer plot on Feuerbart, and then he's going to try and just win power challenges. And to be frank, he has more power icons, so if he can win dominance as well, he's going to win the game at a fairly decent canter. So Firebeard gives away the end of the crossword. Will we see political disaster? It's a good time to play it, I think. I suspect Johannes is expecting it. They played before, it seems, and Johannes has duped 2 of his locations. So he'll probably keep the Arbor and the Great Hall, lose Golden Grove and in at the crossroads. That's exactly what we see here. We see a political disaster, and Johannes countered it with money and cards and another summer plot for Feuerbart. I do feel like Knights of the Hollow Hill is just sometimes a little bit too slow. It can be a bit too slow to really take advantage of Hollow Hill. You need to get yourself on the same footing and then let your agenda take up the slack and giving you an advantage. But if you don't manage to clear the board, then it's hard to ever overwhelm, because then you need to just keep putting out more and more stuff at a faster pace to try and overtake it. The easiest way to do that is just to reset the board. Varys, Valar M, Valar D, First Snow, all of those things, they pare down your opponent's resources while allowing you to keep putting down resources. But this one just seemed to be about bringing out resources. No, it does seem to be limiting opponent's resources in locations, which is good. But we haven't seen a physical reset on the board. Given that we're playing a prince that came too late and here to serve, maybe there's not much of an appetite to play Valar M, although Valar M would be excellent next round. Milk on Crescent, very good. Keeping that begging brother trigger there for any nasty stuff. Barristan Selmy. Gonna save himself some lovely ladies, or even lords. I think there is a lord somewhere. Is he a lord? Yeah, Autumn's a lord. Alla's a lady. A lord and a lady. And a dodgy septum to marry him. Plenty of dupes. Seems like Valar D would be the most impactful reset. Johannes has the IKEA set now. Table and chair, plenty of economy. Political disaster is gone. I think it's probably Johannes' game to lose. To be honest, really cool deck combos. Plenty of cards from Johannes. I don't see how Johannes is going to lose. He can do, Firebeard can do military stealthing Barristan to win a military and restand Jon Snow, and with Gren can chip away a little bit of power. 2 power from Johannes. So I think that might be worth it to slow Johannes down, and then maybe not do a lot else, because he's going to need to keep cards standing to try and win Dom, but then Johannes is in charge of winning Dom and therefore painted table. So I'm not sure this is going to be a happy ending for Feuerbart. So military for 9. So we want the barrister note, it would seem. Which he can just restand himself, because he could check Allah. I mean, all that would happen is if he tried to restand himself, it would get cancelled. So I guess she would die and he would stay now. Maybe that's what Feuerbart is trying to achieve, trying to use up his begging brother, triggered by making Johannes do the combo. Yeah, Barris down to Costa, he still stands. But Allah dies. Well, at least he got 2 power on Jon Snow. Slowed Johannes down a little bit. But Johannes going to win power challenge now. So you're going to go up to 7, 8 with Renown. Probably not going to get an unopposed, but then you're going to get 9 with Dom, 10 with Chamber. And Feuerbart's going to be left on 1. Not an ideal scenario if you're the Night's Watch Hollow Hill player. That said, I appreciate Feuerbart's dedication to playing a not an unpleasant version. Because the last thing you really want to see is Night's Watch Hollow Hill is they start setting up some board, they wipe your board with Valar, and then they jump a Varys in, and then they wipe your board again, and then they play the new wall, and then they start stealing your characters, and it's just like, oh my god, this is a slog. We're going to go to 12 plot, and then you're finally going to win. But Feuerbart's dedication to keeping this game clean and friendly is to be commended. I can hear noises. I wonder if the baby's awake. That would be terrible. Nope, baby is asleep. Still good. We're still good for a little while. Where are we now? Ah, yes. So Johannes considering some more challenges. So I guess he needs to do the power. He's not going to do the power. So basically, he kept the decision to keep his Iron Throne alive, but I think he could have won the power. With Crescent and the Acolyte, that keeps more than enough standing for dominant. I guess it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Yeah, I think he could have won power and made that an extra. Those strange noises that you're hearing and Rebecca moving furniture upstairs. Feuerbart discards leathers again. Leathers, more than a one of in the deck. Haven't seen any giants yet. What's the next plot? Are we going to see a reset? Morghulis would be nicer for a Night's Watch, but wouldn't actually do a lot to dislodge Johannes' power, given that both of those characters are duplicated. So we do have Valar Morghulis into calm over Westeros. So it turned out to be an unfortunate choice for Johannes because he's going to reduce 0 claim to 0 claim. But he's going to get a significant amount of gold. So Aemon saves himself. And he uses the dupe. That seems fair. So it's now up on the board, Mr. Feuerbart. And he's going to get what? 2, 5, 7 gold to play out some more characters. Doesn't need claim to do the Gren and Jon Snow attacking military combo, which is also nice. But it does have to be aware of Barristan attacking in power challenges, gaining renown, because that will just end the game pretty much, because power claim with renown will take him to 13, table and chair will take Johannes to 15. We have Varamir, 4 skins, 6 skins, duped, a dupe for spare boot, a dupe for Jon Snow. Feuerbart is very consistent with his 3 offs, it seems, and duplicates, which is great for him. Melisandre, not great for him. That's probably the death knell. I don't see a way back from that. Vanguard Lancer. Of course, there's no power claim. Didn't notice that. Yes, cheers, Todd. No power on the house card. This is why you like to let your opponent win dom sometimes when you're comfortably ahead. It's a good opportunity to let them get power back on the house card just so you can steal it next round. So I mean, I think it's assert that Johannes is going to win dom, but he kind of needs to let Feuerbart do a challenge and win it unopposed. And Feuerbart letting Johannes get unopposed. I guess he just needs to do a challenge with Barristan. Get the renown, end on 13, win the game, as long as Feuerbart does a challenge with this. That milk is just obnoxious. It's just bad news, isn't it? People play milk. Why do people play milk? It's just horrible people. It's a horrible meta today. Full of milks and horrible looking faction agenda matchup. But turned out Knights of the Hollow Hill isn't a nasty recruitment deck. Just like it turned out when I played Night's Watch Summer, it wasn't a builder's deck. So nasty decks, or friendly decks masquerading as nasty decks. So spare boot. Yeah, unfortunately it's a challenges action, not an anytime action, so there's no time to move the milk. Over to spare boot before so to let Varamir trigger in the challenge phase. That's a bit sad. Does it now anyway? Johannes win dom. So Feuerbart didn't do any challenges there. The right thing to do, really. I think he went first, actually. I didn't even notice that. There's me talking crap when Todd couldn't even tell me. Shame on you, sir. Firebeard lived to fight another day. Don't think there's going to be another Valar Morghulis right now. You win or you die. Feuerbart going first, but surely Johannes just wins with Robar. That will be game over. Ta-da! Congratulations, Johannes. Commiseration to Feuerbart. Yeah, he's annoying. Feuerbart always 5 power in the game. It definitely helps, doesn't it? I mean, I wonder how much power Johannes actually won in actual challenges. He must have got at least 2 or 3, 4 from Iron Throne and Chamber of the Painted Table, and then 3 on Robar. That's almost half the power, none through challenges. Commiseration, Feuerbart. Congratulations, Johannes. I might just have a quick look at some of the other games before I leave. Let's leave the game. Let's see what else is still going on. Nothing else is still going. Well, we've got this one. We've seen these earlier. We haven't seen NIL game. So let's have a quick gander at that. We're having a gander. So Bookerman, we saw his deck earlier. So he got more significant characters than you might expect in a Night's Watch Hollow Hill, because we didn't see any of these in the stream before. Stop multitasking, Todd. Learn how to single task and prioritize. So a nice time to join the game when there's a Valar Morghulis. We've got a 12 to 9 advantage for Martell. The God's Eye, nice. I like it. It is overcosted, but I like it. White Sword Tower, which we kind of call in the Northampton meta Hentai Tower, because they've got those banners do look like some weird tentacles. Sorcerer Messenger, marshalled. Not jumped in at all. Can't guarantee that there'll be fewer than 2 challenge icons. Although, I don't know. I feel like there might be the opportunity for a character with fewer than 2 challenge icons. But I guess NIL did not marshal anything. Looks like this game could be over real soon. Just a power challenge and then dominance. And that could be the end. So yeah, some interesting decks, lots of false advertising of the deck with horrible deck agenda and faction, but actually more pleasant decks underneath. So no Bounty of Highgarden, no challenges. I think this could just be game over, unless this shadow card is something significant. It is significant. We're getting bumping the messenger out of the power challenge. But going to win an intrigue. That's my stomach rumbling. They have a Dornish Spy. So we're going to get 2 challenges and then dominance. Oh, we're going to get Duran's Game. Nice. Nice finish from Bookerman again. We saw that in the previous stream. So very good, very good, very good. Right, I'm going to end the stream here. I think I've said enough. I probably need to go get some food, for I am hungry. Goodbye.